to another Fiddlehead Fiddle lesson. Gonna show you Angeline the Baker, but some things you can add to it. Mainly some double stops. Some easy double stops that are like drone sounding, and then some harder, more difficult stops for students who want to try that out, where they involve two fingers. If you don't already know the tune, there's a basic version of it. You should watch that first for sure and get that, because I'm not going to go too much into the note by note part. I'm going to more show what I added to the basic version here. So I'm going to start by playing it, and then we'll get into it, okay? So here it is with I'm going to play it through with the simple double stops for now. Okay, so one thing before we get started that you could practice would be a D scale, but then you could practice it with double stops, a D double stop scale. So what that is it's just a D scale, but we always play D and A strings together. So it'd be like, so here's it from this angle. So you can kind of see that the bow doesn't change at all, it's just on D and A the whole time. So for this scale I recommend doing patterns that allow you to stay on each note longer, like tucka, and so on, or hoedown. So if you get that down pretty well, then adding double stops to this and other tunes becomes easy. Alrighty, so starting with this. So there I'm going to be droning the open D. Alright. Going on. Still droning open D the whole time. So again, I'm assuming you know the basic version. And so the basic version, the first half is... So basically we just add open D to all that. Alright, one more time on that so you can practice. 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, good. Second half begins like this. And so when we do those notes on the E string, we'll be droning open A. Just practice that a bunch. So yeah. So without double stops, this second half is. And with double stops, slowly, 1, 2, 3. One more time, 1, 2, 3. going to do the entire A part with the double stops at a slow tempo for you to play along with. 1, 2, 3. So that's just a constant drone. There's a lot of options that we could do, but I'm just going to keep it at that, something simple for now, and do the same thing on the B part for you now. So the B part begins like this. So we're basically going to be doing the same things. If the melody's on the A, we're going to drone the D. If the melody's on the E, we're going to drone the A. Why? Because D or A, that's a D chord, and this tune is strongly in D. It's most of the chords are D, and it's the chords are D and G, but it hangs on D most of the time. So this tends to sound very good, D or A strings, because it's part of the D chord, the D triad. I'm not really going to go into the chord theory at this point. In another lesson, we will do that. Anyhow, so let's get back to figuring this out. So all that will be droning the A. Worth practicing in a cycle. If you get that, then what follows is this. So this is tricky. If you're a beginner, you might want to keep it singles for this, and then return to doubles there. Because I think the string crossing and double stops for beginners is a little tricky, but if you want to try it to do doubles the whole time, you do. Basically, when I go there, I'm droning open D. And then back to A and E. Here's that slow. Listen to the first quarter with double stops. Again, if you get this, you can do the whole B part. One more time. So the rest is going to, if you have that down, the rest will flow easily. The second quarter is. Third quarter. Same as the first. Fourth quarter. Here's another little exercise that'll help you a lot. I just thought of it, otherwise I would have given it to you at the beginning. It's doing 2 D and A's together, 2 A and E's together. That with rhythms. Alright, that'll help you get more fluid at going between doing double stops on D and A and E, like this. Alright, so I'm now going to play the entire B part with the easy double stop slow. Here we go. Okay, good. So any of that didn't make sense or you didn't get, just rewind and watch it. You may have noticed I do some subtle little slides. There's all kinds of points where you can slide. That's a common one. I recommend practicing the slide with and without the double stop. So, without it at first, then try adding it. The open D double stop can, in a way, make it easier because you have a kind of a reference the whole time. So let's try it with that little slide. It's just a suggestion and an idea. In fact, this version and any fiddle tune you hear is not an authoritative way to do it. There's millions of ways to do it and tons of different recordings that are slightly different. So just keep that in mind. Take all this with a grain of salt. This is just an idea to get you going and get you playing. You do it there. Practice just that a little bit. Try it there too. I think the sliding on the first is really nice on this tune. That would be the spot to do it. So I'm going to play the whole A part with some slides added and double stops. How about the B part? Maybe try sliding on the 3. It's a little harder, I think. Now add the double stop. Here we go. Try that again. So, play with that on your own. First is good to slide on, third is. The last thing I'll give you is more for advanced students who can do 2-finger double stops. You could do a 2-finger double stop there. Again, it's a lot harder if you're not used to it, but you could practice this. I'm playing 2nd on D, 3rd on A. And then going to open D and A. Practice that and then try. Okay, and then the next thing is, that's what we had before, but now try it with 3rd on the D string. So we have this kind of real strong G chord with a little dissonant part when it hits the open A. Hear it in context from the beginning. Here's that last bit a little slower. So I'm still doing open on A, open to 1, but I'm adding a 3rd finger on D. Something like that. So that's an option for you. On the B part for the, you could play, this is a lot, this is still harder, third across both A and E. Very hard, you can just practice that a little bit if you want to do it. And then context. Working on the B part. I'm now going to play the whole tune of Angeline the Baker, 1A, 1B, very slowly with these harder double stops for you. Well, I think that's good for now. Thank you for watching another Fiddlehead video lesson, and I hope it was useful and fun. And I'll see you next time. And let me know if what I could do to improve it as well. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching the video. Love you.
Excellent.